I bet you haven't seen a dreamcatcher design like this before. Stay tuned to find out how you can follow along and make this too. It's Nicole here and welcome to Bochiknot Macrame. I am super excited to be sharing with you guys today's tutorial on a step-by-step DIY macrame dreamcatcher. So please do excuse me if I do sound like I am slurring in this video. It's because I have a lot of pain in my mouth right now. I don't know why it hurts so much. It hurts to talk, it hurts to eat, so hopefully it will heal up soon. But in the meantime, please bear with me for this video. So this dreamcatcher design is unique in that there are 3 shell patterns that run directly underneath the ring all the way to the bottom where the feathers are. This is a good tutorial for any skill level. If you are a beginner, I do recommend knowing the double half-inch knot first before making the shell pattern, since it will go a lot smoother. I have slowed down the first part of the shell pattern so that anyone should be able to follow along with, but if you do want to practice the double half-inch knot first, I do recommend checking out my 3 foundational macrame knots video. For more beginner-friendly resources and all the materials that I have used for this pattern, you can head on over to bochiknot.com for more details over there. I think I really need to stop talking now because it really hurts. So with that said, let's get right into it. You will need a few materials and supplies for this pattern. I used 3mm macrame cord and 1.5mm string along with a 16cm diameter metal ring. Shown here are the materials I will be using for this pattern. I am holding up a roll of the 1.5mm string from our rainbow cord line. These small cones of string are great for smaller micro macrame projects and great for wrapping or weaving projects that require thin string. The cord I'll be using today is a 3mm single strand cord from our foundation cord line. The reason why I named this foundation is this is the best macrame cord to use at all skill levels. It is soft and sturdy, so it is great to knot with. And then lastly, for a dreamcatcher, you will need a ring. I'll be using a 16cm diameter metal ring. This is a nice, perfect size for a small dreamcatcher. You can definitely make a larger one using a larger ring if you like. To begin, we're going to take a strand of cord at 200 centimeters long and we're going to wrap it around the ring. Take one end of the cord through the ring, and with the shorter cord end, we're going to place it onto the side of the ring. And then with the long end, we're going to start wrapping it around the ring with the shorter cord end in between as well. This way, the shorter cord end is also hidden inside where we are wrapping the ring. I wanted to wrap the ring around with cord first before we make the web-like section of the dreamcatcher, so that the ring is the same color to the rest of the pattern, and then also because the string will stay on better once we weave the web-like pattern. So continue wrapping the cord end all the way around until you reach the other side. Once you reach back to the other side, what we're going to do is wrap it a few more times until you make sure that there are no metal spots. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie an overhand knot. Make a loop and then take the cord end through. Now we're going to take a 200 centimeter strand of string and we're going to start making the web-like pattern. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to tie a double overhand knot with one end of the string. Then skipping a few inches down, take the long end of the string and we're going to make an overhand knot. So make a loop a few inches down and then take the long end through. Then pull on the cord end to tighten the knot. Then skip a few inches down and repeat the same thing. And we're going to do this all around to complete our first row of the web-like pattern. Once we have finished the first row, we're going to start the second row, and this time we're going to take it in the middle of the first row of the web-like pattern that we had made and make overhand knots there. So as you can see, I'm making the first knot of the second row onto the web pattern from the first row, and then we're going to continue all the way around. And then once you're done the second row, all you have to do is repeat the same thing for the third and fourth rows all the way around. Now that we've gone around a few times, there should be a smaller hole in the center. What we're going to do is make a few more rounds, and they should get smaller and smaller until you have no more room to make overhand knots. Once you're done, like I am here, you should see a very small hole in the middle. And then to seal this off, we're just going to make one last overhand knot. And then we're going to cut off the excess strand of string here. And then this will form the back of the Dreamcatcher. With that excess string that we had just cut off, we're just going to add a small section at the bottom. Between the first and the second rows of the web-like pattern, there should be a big gap there, and we're just going to fill in that gap with one strand of string. So tie a double overhand knot onto the ring, and then directly above on the web-like section, make another double overhand knot. Then after that, cut off the excess string. Flip the pattern onto the front side, and we will now start attaching strands of cord to the bottom of the ring. On the bottom middle section of the ring, we're going to attach 6 strands of cord at 200 centimeters long with reverse lark set knots. Now to start our very first shell pattern in the middle, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the middle 2 cords, and we're going to make a diagonal double half inch knot to the left. Then using the same anchor cord on the left side, continue with all the vertical cords on the left side by attaching it onto the anchor cord with double half inch knots. So we should have a diagonal line of double half inch knots to the left. Then using the middle right cord as an anchor cord, make a diagonal row of double half inch knots to the right. Now taking the middle left cord as an anchor cord, make another diagonal row of double half inch knots all the way to the left side. Now, as you continue making the double half inch knots for this row, you're going to increase the spacing in between the row you're making right now and the row above it all the way to the left. And then repeat the same thing on the right side using the middle right cord as an anchor cord. Make a row of diagonal double half inch knots to the right, increasing the amount of space gradually on the right side in between the first 2 rows. Once we're done with the second row on both sides, we're going to repeat for a third row directly underneath, repeating the same thing with gradual spaces on both sides. Now we're going to take the far left and far right cords, which happens to be the anchor cords that we have last used. We're going to bring them to the center and we're going to make one last double half inch knot to the left, so to close off this first shell pattern. Now to start our second shell pattern right underneath, we're going to take the far back left and right cords and we're going to use those as the first working cords on both sides to start off this next shell pattern. Then we're going to work our way downwards. So starting with the middle two cords as anchor cords, we're going to take the back left cord as a working cord for a diagonal double half inch knot to the left. Then repeat the same thing on the right side. Now taking the next cord down on both sides, we're going to use those as working cords for a diagonal double half inch knot onto the same anchor cords. We are making the shell patterns this way because it will hide the loose strands of cord on the sides to the back. So by starting with the very back cords first, we are able to just show the shell pattern at the front. Now continue taking the next cord down on both sides and repeating the same thing until you have reached a full row of diagonal double half inch knots to the left and also to the right. Now directly below, continue on finishing the shell pattern just like how we did the shell pattern above, with 2 diagonal rows of double half inch knots on both sides with spacing in between. And then to seal it off, take the far left and far right cords to the center for a double half inch knot. Now that we're done our first 2 shell patterns, we're going to add 3 more directly underneath, repeating the exact same pattern we did for the second shell pattern here. Now that we are complete with our middle shell pattern, which is the larger of the 3 shell patterns that we're going to make, we're now going to make the smaller shell patterns on the right and the left sides. So we're going to attach 4 strands of cord at 180 centimeters long each onto the right side with reverse large knots. We're going to make a very similar shell pattern as the one we did in the middle, but this time with just a few less cords. So starting with the middle 2 cords again, we're going to make a diagonal double half hitch knot to the left, then finish the diagonal row of double half hitch knots to the left after that. Then with the middle right cord, make a diagonal row of double half hitch knots to the right. Then underneath, take the middle left and right cords as anchor cords for a row of diagonal double half hitch knots to the left and a diagonal row to the right, leaving some space in between the rows. Repeat once more underneath. Now seal this first shell pattern by taking the far left and right cords to the center for one last double half hitch knot. Separate out the cords in the back, and we're going to start the second shell pattern underneath the same way we did the middle shell patterns, and we're going to start with the far back left cord as our first working cord for a double half hitch knot onto the middle left anchor cord. Then do the same thing on the right side. Continue this pattern downwards, diagonally to the left and right. Finish off the second shell pattern like we did above, and then make 3 more shell patterns underneath for 5 total shell patterns. Now that we're done with the shell patterns on the right side, we're going to repeat the exact same pattern on the left side. So all that there's left to finish is the feathers at the bottom. We're going to be using 25 centimeter strands of cord to make the feathers, and we're going to need about 8 strands per feather. Unless you're working on the feathers in the middle section, we're going to need about 12 strands. So taking our first strand at 25 centimeters long, we're going to make a double half hitch knot onto the left group of cords on the left shell pattern. So I separated out the left cords and then the right cords at the bottom, and we're going to use those group of cords as anchor cords for the feathers. Take another strand of 25 centimeter long cord and make another double half hitch knot underneath. We're going to do this a total of 8 times, so continue 6 more times after this. Once the feather is complete on the left side of the left shell pattern, we're going to trim the feather. Then comb through the fibers and trim it some more. Now separate out the far right side of the right shell pattern, and we're going to repeat the same feather there. Now with the intersection of the left and right shell patterns, we're going to add another feather there, but this time we're going to add 12 double half-inch knots with 12 25cm long strands of cord. Now once we're done the feathers on the far left and far right sections, we're going to work on the middle sections. We're going to separate the bottom cords into 3 groups. Separate out the top 4 cords, and then with the remaining cords underneath, separate them into 2 groups. So the bottom 2 groups, we're going to make an 8-strand feather on both sides. And then with the top 4 cords, we're going to make a 12-strand feather. And the feather dreamcatcher pattern is now complete. And that's a wrap on how you can make a beautiful and unique macrame dreamcatcher. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sorry that you guys have to sit through listening to me slur my words in this video, but hopefully you are able to make out the majority of what I'm trying to say. If you enjoyed this pattern tutorial and like this particular design, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and also click subscribe to my channel for more macrame tutorials. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone! So this design, and so please do excuse me if I really think I need to stop talking now because it hurts.